Good morning. Welcome back to Garden Mess. My name is Carrie, and in today's video, we are going to be doing a tour of our yard. So in this flower bed, which is in the front, I have a butterfly bush right here, a buddleia, and it's a little chip blue, and so it's a dwarf variety, and it's looking better. It's got some blooms on it, it's fleshing out again, but I need to come back out here and deadhead this again. So I'll probably show that in a video. This pot's doing well, as just like the other one over there, because of the drip. So both of these, the butterfly bush and this pot, have done well with the drip irrigation. And then I have some self-seeded vincas again. Dianthus, which is normally doesn't bloom in the summer. Usually it's too hot, fizzles out, but it's getting enough water and moisture that it is blooming. That's a little, this is a bee balm, a miniature one. It has yet to bloom for me. We'll see. We'll see if I keep that. Planted some coral sedum over there just to help fill in that space, take over where the dollar weed is growing just because I don't want to go in there and pull all that up. My angelonia looks like it's fizzling out, kind of like the other one, so I might have to come back and shear it back again just so it flushes out, because you can see there's new growth at the base, so I probably need to come and do that. Definitely need to get this little weed. Don't like these. Get this weed while I'm here, and I'll come back and weed some of this out. Oh, well, looks like I'm getting some mildew, or some, yeah, definitely mildew on my verbena here. Probably getting too much water, not enough airflow. That's good for me to know. I just noticed that, so I'll have to watch that. Self-seeded gomphrena. Of course, it's going to grow bigger than what's around it. And then when I planted this area up, I stirred up a ton of vinca seeds. So that's why you see all this vinca. And I don't know what color it's going to be, but I definitely need to come out here and weed, because I have crabgrass starting to grow. And this Gara, oh, it always looks so pretty. My husband loves looking at and watching when the bumblebees land on them. You see that? How they move. He lands on them, and then so cute. He loves watching it. There's one over here. So our wormwood, also known as Artemisia. We planted that, and if you saw that video, it looked terrible. I should have probably just thrown the plant away, but I know that this plant's pretty, it thrives easily. So as long as you get it in the ground, it'll live. So I knew it was pretty robust plant. It would do well. And then I have some, I think this is a salvia, pink perfusion. Yeah, it's a salvia, and this is pink perfusion, although it's more like purple. Well, not, like a pinky lavender purple. And then this is some more lantana, and this is my favorite lantana, and you can see the difference. Now there are two plants here, this ball, and they've kind of merged together. But if you'll notice how nice and ball shaped those are, and then those lantanas, they're a different variety, but you see, like, this is more of a cascading lantana. So this one probably could do well in a container and it just flop over, but it's definitely not as tight and a contained shape like these lantana here. And I think there's a tag back here. Let's see if I can find it again. I always forget what the name of this one is. Oh, I see it. Hold on. So this is Sundance Pink. And it gets, focus. Uh-oh. Can it focus? 12 to 16 inches tall. And it did last for me. Came back from the winter. Try to get that little tag back in the ground. I did cover it though. I did work to protect it, but it did survive. And I planted a phlox behind it. And then I have my, I think this is Miss Violet Buddleia. Oh, it doesn't have a tag, which means it's on a container. But anyway, I just transplanted this and it is doing well. It loves its place. It gets just the right amount of water and just the right amount of sun. And so I'm very pleased with that. And if you remember in some of the videos that I did earlier this year, this, I think that's a weed, this one. I'll come back and take a picture of it. But this is the Imperial Blue Plumbago. And it came back from last year, and it came back from the year before that. So it keeps coming back, and it is next to a daylily that I have that's yellow. And earlier in the year though, it was so tiny, it was growing so slow. I went out and bought some more because I'm like, this thing is being slow. But then when the temperatures consistently got up to over 85 every day, and we had sunshine for many days in a row, then it took off. But before that, when it was raining a lot, so you'd have rain for a day, sunshine for a couple days, rain for a day, when it was like that, it was not growing. But once it got to where we have more sun consistently, it just took off. And look, it has just filled that whole space. It's beautiful. Of course, my vinca. And I also had, I don't know if you can see these little blooms. There's one back here. And then there's one here. And this is a penstemon that's self-seeded. I can't think of where it came from. I think maybe what I did was took some of the dried seed heads from another one and I sprinkled them over here. And then when I was planting, I think I stirred the seeds and then they germinated. That's a Miss Lemon Abelia. That's how pretty it is. Its leaves are getting that solid yellow plus the variegated. Some more phlox. My echinacea are being slow. One there that I transplanted, but they're being slow to grow. And my cleome, kind of disappointing this year. It's not doing quite as well as I'd hoped. I planted them in the space before, but maybe they're getting too much water. I'm not sure. Maybe the amount of rain, 'cause we had a lot of rain this year, and I think it might have set it back some, slowed them down. Because they're not the only thing being slow. I also planted these Chrysandras multiple years in a row, and they are being slow as well. So, and I have some more blue plumbago in here. You know, with all this self-seeded vinca, I would not doubt that I have just a natural hedge of them every year. And they make such a statement. But when they're little, they're easy to pull out. I mean, they don't have big roots. I mean, you could pull those plants out right now, no problem at all. So I let them stay. They can spread as far and wide as they want. They're not like, you know, other primrose, I guess. So this Gara I transplanted here, and it's, you know, it's a little chaotic, and I think I'm gonna just go ahead and remove it. I don't really like it where it's at. I might put it back further back so it can flop the way it's doing. But this hibiscus, I want it to be able to be seen. And it's kind of hard to see it with all the floppiness of the Gara around it. My morning glory shrub looks like it's doing good. Ooh, I need to paint it. Huh. I was working here planting this the other day, and there was a hornet's nest, literally, like right by my ear. And it buzzed at me, and there was like 5 of them on there, and it buzzed at me. And just let me know, we're here. Don't make any sudden moves to hurt us, or we will get you. This is my purple porterweed, and we planted this in a video maybe a week and a half ago. Anyway, it is doing amazing. It's already 3 times its height, so it's growing. It's doing good. Don't look too hard at this planter. It doesn't get much water. And I'm not real concerned about it because I have a lot of planters around the yard, and I am going to limit how many planters I have in the future. So I'm not real concerned. Maybe in the future, as I run more drip, I will go back to them. But for now, the 2 in the front serve a good purpose. Yeah, so we'll see. I just don't want to have to worry about it, and I can run drip to this, but those are all annuals. I'm not really worried about them. I have plenty of them around the yard. This rose bush here, when the fall comes, I will be transplanting it out there. I can't do it yet though because it rooted into the ground through the bottom of the pot. That's why it's leaning. This is a ground cover, kind of like Creeping Jenny. Same Lismantia. This is called Golden Globe, and it's pretty. It's pretty. Now look, I have watermelon. I have a watermelon grown in here too. It comes back from the roots or something, because it pops up every year ever since I planted it over here. I don't expect it to actually make fruit. And then my pot of goldenrod. Butterfly bush needs to get trimmed. Ugh. I have so much I need to do, but I just don't have the time to tackle all that I need to do, and I really got behind. So let me not make everyone who hears this kind of freak out. The things that I have yet to do, it's not because this is overwhelming amount of work. It's because this year, instead of tackling some of my tasks that I should have done, which was to, in early spring when everything was smaller, to prune and get things ready, like on the butterfly bush. Instead of doing that, I was building my vegetable garden, and it took a lot of my time. So things that I had been doing, I just didn't do. Like I didn't come in here and thin out all the self-seeded echinacea. I mean, there's so much echinacea in here. And I really wish more of that vinca would self-seed and grow, but I don't see much of that in there. Very, very little. But here's that penstemon, and this is the penstemon that I think that's self-seeded, that I took some of the seeds and sprinkled around. Because here's another one right there. Yeah, so normally I come in here, and because there's a path right here. There's a path right here. This is how, far behind I got on all my tasks and chores and whatnot. If you see the camera shake a little, it's because I'm swatting at mosquito. They keep trying to get my little hand. The one thing that's not covered. I need to come deadhead those echinacea. But I do have the echinacea that I pulled up from the ground here to clean out this pathway. I put it in here and it is growing, and then I also have some ice plants growing in there too. And then I need to move all these irises. They do not bloom. They're getting crowded out, of course, by the loropetalum. But aren't those zinnias just so cheerful? And I got all sorts of different varieties that self-seeded. I've got this one right here, and then I have like a color, like this must be like a mix, like a, I don't know, more of your, you know, dusty colors. And then I have a purple one that just has all purple, and so this one right here, that's all one. But all these bright colors are another variety.